Hello, everybody. This is Margaret. Welcome to February's last Friday Night Live. And unfortunately, even though I've got a brand new internet, it's still giving me the Wi-Fi symbol of near death. So hopefully that doesn't preclude too many of you from joining in. Hello, hello. It's February 26th, last Friday. And this has been very fun. So we've got lots of good stuff going on. Hello, Janae. Yes, lots of good stuff going on. And I've got extra big writing for my notes because there's so much to say. And I didn't want to forget stuff, and I knew I would. So yes, let's just dive in. Let's see, it's the end of February, so I'm closing this month out with a Black History Month tag, the book tag that was started by Books by Lanus, who I've followed for several months now, and she's amazing. I'm glad she did this tag because everyone else knew her name was Lynn, or however you say that in German, and I didn't, and I always said Lanus when I would address her because she didn't have her name marked anywhere. So anyway, I got to learn her name because of this book tag, which is great. I decided to do this at the end of the month rather than at the beginning so that I would have the benefit of listening to all the brilliant booktubers who would go before. And, you know, since that is a better role for a non-person of color, person of non-color, a non-POC, I don't know how I'm supposed to say that. So I thought that would fit in rather nicely, and then I'd get to see other people's recommendations and build on them and have a benefit of another February under my belt before I tried to turn around any recommendations myself. So that is why I waited till last Friday. It wasn't completely unintentional. So question number one, I've got the questions up here. What is a book everyone should be reading during Black History Month? One fiction and one nonfiction. So I'm going to start with the nonfiction. When I started last summer, very late to the party, to read anti-racism books, I started with Me and White Supremacy by Layla F. Saad. And she is a Black person who lives in Dubai, and she sort of like lived all over the world and experienced all different sorts of international cultures and was able to compare them and have a bit of distance from them. And so she had a very interesting way of going through anti-racism and combating white supremacy. It was sort of like a program of like, let's take this tiny pie slice and examine it one at a time so that y'all don't get overwhelmed. And as the first book to do that, that was handy for me. So I like that. The fiction book, see, this is going to be controversial, but I mean, I don't really think there's a book that everyone should read for a certain month. I think everything's going to hit everybody different. But if I was to recommend one that really got at the roots of why Black history is so important to study for me, I would say The Pox Party by M.T. Anderson. And that is not a Black author, but hear me out. He portrays a Black character as the main character, and it's someone in the middle of the American Revolutionary War who is in a terrible situation. It's very obvious to us how terrible the situation is, even though it's accepted by historians generally. So I think this is a story that really puts the horrificness of slavery and othering center stage in a way that white people can easily understand, rather than the things we're used to hearing and the platitudes we're used to seeing. So I thought this really pointed it out in a way that made me empathize, and yeah, it was the most compelling way to me. So I'm still looking for a similar type feeling in a book written by a Black author, a novel. And since I'm a historical fiction buff, I am looking for that in historical fiction even more. So I'm hoping it's my next one. So we'll see. I'm still reading classics, and hopefully I'll start getting some contemporary ones as well. And we'll see if I can find it. So that's number one. Number 2. Question, sorry, I'm looking all over the place. Question number 2, which Black booktubers would you recommend watching and why? Oh gosh, see, this is the one that took up the most space because I have 12. I mean, I had to choose. I'm saving some for my next video, March 3rd, when I do the wrap up for February. I'm doing my favorite videos from Black History Month. And so there will be some overlap, but some are creators I don't know as much about, but the video is really compelling. But these are ones that I really love, lots of their content. So, so the newest one on this list is Kelly Stamps. She is living her life. She's super funny. She's super real, and she just cracks me up. She moved from, she's like a huge YouTuber, but she moved from Boston back to Texas and Florida and is splitting her time between the two. And she's just really funny, and she's doing well, and I'm very happy to watch her discovery and her journey and her like frivolous stuff too, because she's just funny. We've got some regulars here. So second, I would say Ashley at Bookish Realm. She is a librarian and a single mom and has been doing this for a long time. And I love her sort of like asides that are sort of like real talk and doing discussions with the BookTube community. She seems kind of like a mama of the BookTube community. And so she really brings everyone in for great discussions about the culture of that community. So it's really helpful. Yes. So I'll put these in the description afterwards. I wanted to make sure to rewrite it so that I could read it, but I'll definitely put them into the description box too. But yes, Bookish Realm. Helene at Books by Lanus, the one who started this tag. So thank you, thank you. As I've said, it's been, I don't know, probably like 5 of the 6 months I've been on BookTube, I've been watching her channel. I can't even, like my eyes just goggle at the fact that she has such a wide view of the world and encompasses so many different literatures. So she's in Germany, but she also points back to literature in Africa, and she reads German and English and French, and like she has a harangue about not Wide Sargasso Sea. She loves Wide Sargasso Sea. She has a harangue about Jane Eyre. So, you know, we have to have some reservations and we have to differ on some points, but she is just so enthusiastic and so committed to her opinions that I love listening. So yes, definitely check out her channel if you have for some reason stumbled here and haven't been there yet. This is one that's not so known by booktubers. This is not a booktube channel. This is Scotland History Tours. This is put on by a guy named Bruce, and he's basically like a traveling history guide, and he takes us into different places in Scotland and also relating like racial history even back to the 18th century, the 15th century, and it's fantastic. He does these great little travel logs. He's super funny. He like takes the piss, as they say, and he's also very engaged. He writes back to every comment, and he says something like you really pay attention to what you're saying. And so he's just a wonderful person, and I'd love to shout him out here in this corner that does not know him as so well. Next I have Sandy Golston at BookTube. He is someone I started watching, I think, October, so also really early, and super even keel. He lives in Michigan, and part of why I appreciate him is that he's like the other side of all of the interests. He's like a sport, I don't know if he's a sportcaster, but he like broadcasts games, so he's like that whole sport ball side of the world that I have no idea how it functions. And he's also more into thriller and horror books like Stephen King, and so, I mean, there's some crossover, and we did a buddy read. I did my first buddy read with Sandy, so that was super fun. And we'll do another one soon. We started doing productivity sprints together, so we'll do those with Steph at Coffee Over Apples going forward. But he's just delightful, great conversation, and like I said, gives me the other half of the world. We've got more regular. We got Bree at Locke's Booktition, which I'm sure you guys all know. She is another booktuber from the New Orleans area. I think I already recommended her to Janae, so She should know her already. And what's great about Brie is that I've sort of seen like a meteoric rise. Like, I think she had a few hundred when I started watching her. Now she's above 1,000 and monetized and like doing all these collabs. And I'm just like, get it. It's awesome to see. So she's very also more into horror and thriller and you know, stretching herself by going into sci-fi fantasy, I think. So again, different interests, but chill and humorous and willing to try new things and just like be funny and vulnerable. So she's great. Let's see, I've got Shay with the Hobbies. She is a writer, and at the beginning I was really looking for other writers on BookTube, AuthorTube, and I think that Shay had a not so great experience with the other authors on YouTube, which is unfortunate. So she was trying to like veer off and start her own creator tube thing, which is going to be like more compassionate and not so clicky. And I'm not sure what happened, but she had a bad experience. And so I think she's sort of pivoted to doing mostly lives. And she has Shay with the Hobbies as her handle because she also does crocheting. Oh, I'm gonna get it wrong now, and the knitters are gonna come after me. It's either knitting or crocheting, one of the two. She has awesome projects, and like I said, does a lot of lives, and so that's the main content of her channel at the moment. And she's just delightful. Also, a great one for engagement and positive vibes, and just like making you feel like $1,000,000 just talking to you. So she's great. Another new one that I found who is an author is Kahila Harry. She's very excited. She just chose her cover. She's going to be self-publishing soon, and she's going gangbusters on her channel. So I'm very excited to see what she puts out going forward in terms of like books and like pre-ordering and seeing if we can get in on that. Let's see, Sandra at Pull Down the Moon. So in the around the world type of theme, this is someone who is not in London, outside London, and she's in the publishing industry. So Sandra has sort of like everyday book interests like the rest of us, but she's got a very snappy humor, and you know, she's just delightful to listen to. She's down to earth, and I think she has similar tastes. I'm not entirely sure because, you know, you have to go through several cycles of TBRs to be sure, but I think we're in the same ballpark, so that's really good. Then I've got Ray at Bookmark Chronicles. She's, so Janae, like you, she starts it off with like, I don't care about subscriber count. Y'all can do what you want. I'm here for me. And so if you like this, stay. If not, like, go do your thing. She's very upfront and frank about that. And so I love her being there and her taking up that space and saying, this is what I like. And hey, join in if you like. So she has different tastes than I do as well. She was peeking into the romance world the past few months and like stretching herself that way. So it's just fun to see so many people on BookTube that are, you know, realizing that they have a certain bent and going, oh, maybe looking around, I see all these other people doing these other things. Maybe I should give it a chance. And so I'm like all for that because I do the same thing. I'm mainly historical fiction and nonfiction. And, you know, I comfort reads with romance like everyone does, and some sci-fi fiction not as much because, well, I don't know why not as much. I don't know, just throw some recommendations at me if you want. Yes, all right, so two more. We've got Will at LM Reads, and he's got a love of fantasy, the impossible love story, which I love, and just really super fun editing. So we just did a buddy read of Clockwork Angel, which is one of his favorites he was rereading. And for me, that was a first Cassandra Clare. So we have been like 3 weeks trying to get together to do our talk about it. But, you know, we had a couple emails, and I think we both feel good about it. But the discussion should be a little more nuanced. I think when we actually get to talking, we'll have more like differences to discuss and stuff rather than general impressions. But he's fantastic. He like I said, the master of the editing. He does these audio effects, and he does you know, like, or clips from movies and just like fun animations. And it's just like so much effort just to make you giggle. And so I really appreciate that. And then finally, Jenny. So, I mean, I maybe should have put you first, but I thought I'd make you wait and sweat it out. you're the even dozen. So today, Coffee and Copyrights, a newer booktuber, but also one who has been on a lot and put forward a lot of thoughtful content. What can I say? What did I think about beforehand? Because I knew that my mind would go blank when you're sitting there staring at me. Constant questioning, sharing the feels. I'm always up for someone who is willing to share the feels, because that is really what reading brings up for me, is like the connection with the people and the story and the emotion that the writer wanted to put across, right? So I love that. And you brought a lot of books to me that I didn't know about and views that I hadn't heard of. So always there for it. Yay. All right, so I'll just catch up and say, Janae gave me a thumbs up. And I don't know what this is about. You'll have to tell me. And then Marilyn Maya's here. So we have someone from Hawaii. So it's early. Once again, it's early for you, but we're going to still call this a Friday Night Live. So welcome, welcome. And she thought I wouldn't call her out because she's always here. No. Credit where credit is due. So, whew. That is my even dozen Black booktubers that you should watch. And I'll put them in the description below as soon as we conclude today's festivities. So on to the next. Oh, and in case anyone is wondering, this is not port, this is not hot cocoa, this is tea today. Although I would love to be able to say it's a chicory shot. I do not have chicory in the house. All right, question number 3. Favorite book written by a Black author from an African country? So, oh, and I forgot to write this one in my large print. Yes, I'm using large print. Don't make fun of me. My small, tiny pencil print. So this is a small pool, unfortunately, but I think that's what Helene is trying to get us to broaden, is to like read more African authors. And I think the one that most affected me was one from way back in college, and it's Mariama Ba, who is from Senegal, and she wrote Une si longue lettre, which is such a long letter, and it's a very small book. It's an epistolary novel about a woman in a polygamous situation and how her experience of Senegal culture in the 1960s, I think, affected her and what she thinks about it. And we got to analyze this in a French class, and it was great. It was something I'd never heard of before. It was something I'd never thought about before, obviously. And yeah, it was really, really good. Aminata Sow-Fall is the other Senegalese woman writer whose name I know, but I looked at her works earlier today and I'm like, did I read any of these? I don't think so. So obviously they didn't have as much the same effect, but I was going to put Yaa Gyasi on this list because I haven't read Homegoing yet, but Wikipedia categorizes her as Ghanaian American, and she came here when she was 2. So I don't know if I'm going by scallywandling by the book's qualifications. I would say she's not like an African, lived there for very long. It's more of a cultural inheritance. So I don't know what fits for this prompt, but I'll stick with the safe choice, which is my college read, and continue to broaden that pool. Sorry. So that's 3. Number 4. What's your favorite Black classic? So I have, what are we doing here? Okay. I have been sort of eking up Black classics one by one throughout the past few years. And I've got one that I read that I can say is a favorite, and 2 that I'm going to read that I think are going to be favorites. And I don't do the 5-star prediction. I think that's kind of silly. I mean, I think we go into every book thinking it's going to be a 5-star. Otherwise, why would we read it? But no offense if you do those, I just don't really get them. I think they're just kind of a fad, so I'm going to wait it out. But the classic I love is Passing by Nella Larson. I just read this in December and loved it. It was super short, super intense, and the detail, it's kind of like the Pox Party. It like brings things in such clarity and makes it so obvious how unjust a certain assumption or certain convention is, that it's like, why didn't we see this before? And that's the sort of like big energy I'm looking for, you know? So that's a really good one. And then the two that I think will be favorites, Black classics, are The Street by Anne Petrie, which I now have, which I found, and I am very proud to own and put on my list, and Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. And I haven't written Octavia E. Butler yet. I know, but I have that one as an ebook. So that is also within my grasp. So if anyone wants to buddy read either of those, please let me know, and we can arrange it in the next few months, because I want to keep this energy going. Part of my February Black History Month effort is to say, I have these, but I want to keep acquiring more, and I want to expand it from Black history to Black future and Black nonfiction, contemporary, all this other stuff. So, okay, we've got weighing in here. Oh, okay, so Janae's saying Passing, Devil Hands. Marilyn Maya is saying she just got Passing in the mail and is going to feature it later tonight in her video. Yay, so exciting. That's so great. I think Passing is the one you said was taking forever to come. I think I remember one of your recent videos saying that you were waiting and waiting and waiting. I'm glad I got there. Those trips in the night, they must be passing. Oh my God. Sorry, I could not resist that. That was a Margaret joke. All right, so then Janae is saying The Street gets all the hearts, all the hugs, and Parable of the Sower, all the claps. Yes. See, 5-star predictions. I can't imagine not liking them. But then at the same time, I've got to go in with like tamp down the expectations so that I don't feel like wowed on every page. So yes, expectations are where it's at, right? So yeah, those are the Black classics, I would say. What's the next question? Number 5, which movie or book to movie adaptation or documentary would you recommend watching during Black History Month? And number 1, I'm not a big movie person. So this was one of the reasons why I was like waiting for other people to bring stuff, because I was like, I mean, hardly watch mainstream movies. So things that are going to be Black history focused is like just probability wise is smaller. But I saw, who was it? Let me check and give credit where it's due. Sariella's video. Sariella, who is a Puerto Rican booktuber, recommended Judas and the Black Messiah, which just came out last week, I think. And it's going to be rough. It's going to be rough to watch, but I think it's going to be really good. It's the story of Fred Hampton and the government versus the Black Panthers via his life. And it looks really good. Has anyone seen it? I don't know. But yeah, I'm so behind on movies and stuff like that. Yes, I will say I just got my library hold notification to go pick up Avengers Infinity War, because I kept seeing references to this funny scenes and I didn't want to miss out. So I thought I'd get the DVD from the library. That's how important mainstream movies are to me. Like 2 years later. Oh, it comes out this weekend. I thought I saw something that said February 10th, but I could be wrong. MLK FBI is out now also. Oh, maybe there's just another movie that I missed. MLK FBI. That's not the name of it, is it? Okay, I'll go look that up afterwards and then maybe have to add it to my list. But that's my movie I'm putting forward. Question number 6. What's on your TBR for Black History Month? Well, that is the name. Okay. Then I haven't heard anything about it, because I've watched a bunch of videos, but no one's pointed it out as far as I remember. Although, memory, whatever. If you watched my video Hey, Sandy. Sandy missed his shout out. All right, everyone. Tell Sandy that he got shouted out and he wasn't here for it. What were you doing? I'm sure he was like broadcasting. So, as I said, my video on February 3rd had my TBR, and these are the books that I think will actually be done. I got through most of it. I had some non-Black history books mixed in as well. But Souls of Black Folk, as we talked about earlier on Fridays, Survival Math, which was for the Patreon book club that I ran, Invisible Man, which I am close to finishing, and Invisible, which I just started last night and will finish in the next couple days, so before February's over, because it seems very readable. It's not highly technical or legal or anything. Just a good story. So that is my TBR so far. And to add to that, because when I looked at this, I was like, W.E. Burghardt Dubois, Mitchell S. Jackson, Ralph Ellison, Stephen L. Carter. I thought, these are all the men. Where's all the female energy? So I was like, how did that happen? So in addition, my continuing TBR might take the February energy into the rest of the year. I have The Deep by Rivers Solomon, who's a non-binary author. And let's see, next month I've got, for my March of the Moderns readathon, 2 more that fit. Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Thurston. And this is 1901 to 1945, a Black classic. And, you know, very much looking forward to this. This is going to be featured on March 31st as a buddy read with a local historian, Donna Sinclair. So I'm very excited, and we'll be boning up par excellence for like trying to understand all this stuff in here. And then this one is less known, but I think just as fascinating to me. It's Charles W. Chestnut's The Marrow of Tradition. And this is the one that I actually, I think this is the one I recommended to Seriela. So originally published in 1901, The Marrow of Tradition presents an unflinching portrayal of America's post-Reconstruction descent into a brutal world of segregation. And this is a novel about the Wilmington Massacre in 1898. So this is the fictional version, published closer to the time, of Wilmington's Lie, which is a nonfiction that just came out by David Zucchino, whose book is part of the BookTube Prize book. So people are reading that right now, which is why I was so excited to get it. Yes, so that is part of my March of the Moderns. All right, yay! And JD is here too. Hey. Your internet seems kind of fritzy. Mine is still showing me 1 bar on this sucker. So, yes. And yay, Seriela. So I've got like a trio. I mean, I'm talking about Seriela. I've got Marilyn Maya. I've got JD. We've got a trio of Puerto Rican awesomeness here. Very cool. All right, so that was question 6. Yes, the TBR and the TBR continuing into March and beyond, which is great. Final question, number 7. Which new releases by Black writers are you looking forward to the most this year? And this was a little harder to do just on my own because I don't see new releases. Like I'm not pawing through catalogs on NetGalley, that kind of thing. But because I took the month to watch other people's videos and get the lowdown on upcoming releases and then did a little research on the side before this video, I have some to report. Let's see. My book, oh, and before I do that, give me 1 second. Boricua? What is this? Tell me what this is. Okay, I had a thing that I was gonna post, and of course, there we go. Okay. That is the information. So, like I said, I'm doing a bunch of buddy reads, and we're doing a bingo board and having a prize giveaway at the end for March of the Moderns. And these are two of my reads that actually work for both. Invisible Man also could have worked for both because that was written in 45. And Boriquen. Boricua are people from Puerto Rico. I didn't know this. Boriquen is the name of the island in Taino. Oh, okay. And Taino is like the indigenous tribe that was there before colonization. Is that right? See, I think I've heard people say Puerto Riqueño. So I was like, I've never heard this one. But that's the name in their language. That makes sense. Correcto. Okay, cool. Alba. It's like saying Nippon. Like if you say Nippon in America, people will go, what's that? That's Japan, Japanese, folks. Get on the train. Okay, new releases. Where was I? All right, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to share. I've got The Other Black Girl, Zakia Delilah Harris, and my bookseller friend Mary at Blurb Your Enthusiasm, which is an amazing title. I love that brand for her social media handle. She recommended this. She said it's a great story. I think that's coming out March 30th. Hold on, let me check. Let me be accurate. Soy Boricua. Spanish from Puerto Rico. Hola, Marilyn. Cool. We're having conversations in the hallway. Other Black Girl. I did not write the date down for this one. Okay, The Other Black Girl. We've got Yellow Wife by Sadeka Johnson, which I've seen explode all over Instagram the last week. That I also didn't put a date down for, but I think it must be coming out soon because it's exploded. Historical fiction. Liberty by Caitlin Greenidge. That's coming out March 30th. And Caitlin Greenidge, I know because she is fire on Twitter. So I followed her for quite a while, probably since last summer. But this is her book coming out, which is historical fiction 1880s. Yellow Wife is 1860s, I believe. Then we've got Wild Woman and the Blues by Denny S. Bryce, another historical fiction, but a dual timeline between the 1920s and modern, I think. Looks amazing. And that's coming out on March 30th. Apparently, big publishing day, March 30th. And then How Beautiful We Were by Mbolo Mwe. That is coming out on March 11th. So that's very soon. And that one is it historical? I think that might be contemporary. That's the one that takes place in a fictional oil town in West Africa, and like what happens, the corruption of the government taking over, or the resource curse. If anyone's been in development, it's the resource curse writ large in a fictional environment. So that looks good. Oh, and like I said, I'm not a big new release person, so it takes me a while. They need to like cure. I'm not a big wine person either. JD's gonna call me a liar on this. I'm just drinking tea, JD. I know it's not Tuesday, but this is a tea in my mug. But yeah, they just are starting to cure. I don't really jump into anything without letting it sit and like get in line. I don't know why that is. I feel like it needs to earn its place in line. I don't know. I'm a crazy American. Call me what you will. So that's the last question. I don't think I'm going to tag people because the month is over. I could just tag all the dozen booktubers that I recommended people watch, because half of them, or maybe more than half, will not have done it. And so they'll just like fall away and be like, go away. I already did this. This is not my homework. Yeah. So it's been a great month. It's been a hard reading month. I've watched Janae struggle through a lot of heavy classics and some rewarding ones, and some others as well. but my struggle was limited. I sort of checked out of Invisible Man after the beginning and then got back into it and sort of it's doing this. Like I said, Sean the Book Maniac has a review up of it, and the title is something like a stream of gargoylish characters. And I saw that and I was like, I'm not going to watch that yet. I think I need to hold off on watching this. So I kind of get what he's saying, but I'm trying to see it through to the end to see like what the arcs are and what the overall message is. I just got past the part where, I don't know, does anyone not want me to spoil a middle episode or a middle element of Invisible Man? Anyone? All right, if you're not watching this live, I'm going to talk about Invisible Man for a second. And if you are watching this live, tell me if you don't want to hear it. I'll take another sip. Yes, we love Sean. Maybe that'll make him come say hello. Just the calling in of the Sean. I like it. And JD saying the never-ending list of tags to catch up on. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I had a lot of ideas for side conversations on this live, but one is tags. I have a list of tags in my planner, and I was sort of trying to tag back the people who tagged me. It's sort of like courtesy thing. And I realized I'm not the greatest at determining if people have already done it. So it's like I try to, and then they've already done it. And so I'm like, oh, but then I try to do it next time. And it just seems a little silly. So I feel like there's also the matter of the people who I'm interacting with most. Like I feel like I can't tag them yet. Maybe I should just tag more people when I do it. I'll have just like 18 names instead of 3 to 5. Because I feel like there's a convention and I should just toss the convention. But yeah, I'm slow on tags as well. I don't do them in the same week everyone else does. Maybe it's just like books. The tag needs to cure. Like leave it on the shelf for a second, you know, give it some air, let it air out. Okay, so the middle part that I just went by is the main character, whose name I've forgotten because it's his point of view. The main character is in New York City. He's been recruited to be like a scientifically rabble-rouser type preacher to basically instigate a revolt in New York City. And so he's studied up, and then he goes to this bar, and he's going to like his first assignment to try to like talk to a big crowd and get them all riled up against white people and injustice, right? Eviction is the first thing that he spoke out against. And so he goes to this bar with the organizer guy, and there's a TV with a bullfight with someone waving a red toreador, or I don't know, is toreador the cloth? It's probably the bullfighter. Anyway, a toreador waving a red flag right under a calendar that's open to the date of April 1. And I'm like, it doesn't feel like it's April. It just seemed like a very, very obvious sort of like symbolism. And I don't get all the symbols, but this one really seemed to like smack me in the face like a fish. So, yeah. So some of it seems a little vague and some of it seems a little in your face. So I'm sort of like, I want to see where it ends up before I pass judgment over the story, but it's a wild ride. Let me tell you. Okay, so JD's saying toreador is the bullfighter. Okay, makes sense because it's got bull in the word. Torero. I said it with 2 R's. What's a toreador then? Why do we have that in English speak? Because we're wrong, obviously. That's okay. I mean, it's a convention, so I guess we'll all be wrong together. Yeah, so there's some really interesting parts to this, like, but anyway, I'll finish it before the end of the month and then be able to like report on the whole deal. And this one, Eunice. Yeah, it is Carter. Eunice Hunting Carter. So this looks like a fabulous conclusion to my Black History Month. I think ending it on like a we won note, I think will be good. So, all right. How have your February's gone? And are you ready for March? That's the next question. I've seen several people put up March TBRs, and everyone's trying to do everything, which of course is what I tried for February. Didn't work very well, but yeah, who's participating in what in March? I'd be interested to know. Drop it in the comments. I think I'm going to be moving the timing of these Friday lives earlier, just to see who shows up. I think I'll be doing it at noon. Okay, GD, thank you. It's been a cluster, and I'm on point with my reading. That is excellent to note. I love it. Oh, what's this? Retaking a month-long author thing I did last year. Is this like your own nano March of the Writers? Ooh. Well, that sounds incredible. Tell me more about this. I mean, I know April is something called Camp NaNoWriMo, and I've never participated in that because it feels strange. Like I already have Nano, and I can only do this once a month, y'all. So, but like I said to Sandy during our productivity sprint, I'm just fits and starts with this replotting and research gap thing. And so the more other people I have poking me and saying, hey, did you do the thing? Did you do the thing? Did you do the thing? The better. So here's my ask that, you know, if you're doing something that's like accountability wise, please include me. It's just showing up. Seen that, right? From beating around the books. Yay! Cool. Nice to see you. And she's saying she just heard about one of JD's books. Oh, I wonder if you heard about it on Pay's channel Attention. Because that was such an awesome review that he did. And then, I'm sorry, leaping all around based on your comments. JD saying, Camp Nano is better than full Nano. March of the Writers is like author life month. Oh, okay. So like we get to feature side lifestyle things. Make a bundle on our lifestyle merch, of course, right? Right? Camp Nano is better than full Nano. Tell me why. That is a bold claim. I want to hear more about that. Marilyn Maya saying we're all writers. I don't know if Tina is. She can weigh in. But Marilyn Maya is writing nonfiction memoir. It's in particular. And soon, I guess it's another late night. Yay! This is so cool. See, this is like BookTube and AuthorTube and like getting along and skipping off into the sunset. I love it. I love it. Floored. I know. People can be wonderful when you let them surprise you. When you let them surprise you. I was working about my pronouns there. It's more doable. You can put your own goals and you can vary. Oh. Well, the last Nano I treated like my own Camp Nano then because I said my goal is typing up 50,000 words. And so I finished the writing up to the plot and then just finished typing the whole manuscript up to 50,000, which wasn't the end. And I was like, okay, done now. I mean, that was good enough for me. So, yeah. As a multi-genre author, I can see how that would be more enticing for sure. And Sina's saying, no, apart from the ramblings, trying to write poetry. That's how it starts. This is great. Yes, multi-genre author. I was able to finish 3 projects and later publish them. I wonder how long it took to publish. I wonder if that time frame has also flipped as well, because I feel like I wrote, well, first, second, third. No, I guess it didn't vary too much. I was trying to see if there was a relationship between the writing speed speeding up and taking less time versus the publishing and marketing expanding, because you realize you need more of like a funnel and all that kind of stuff. But nope, it hasn't varied that much enough to give like a real correlation. And JD saying, after I finished Camp Nano, 2 to 3 months for all 3. So you just sort of did them all concomitantly. Interesting. Gotta have like a, what's it called? A jetpack? I kid. I know you just have like burners going all the time in your head. So yeah, I can totally see that. It's very cool. I like this little author club. This is very fun. We should do like a Friday, what is it? Treehouse, author treehouse club. I don't know. I'm not good at naming or branding, obviously. But it's so nice to see you all. Thanks for joining or stopping by and saying hello. What do I have going forward? March is a big month. As I said, I have the readathon going. So just pop that up there. The readathon consists of trying to read books written between 1901 and 1945. They're considered modern. And trying to make that as widely diverse as possible. So I have a bingo board, which I put away, but it's on my blog. And so that link will take you to my blog where it has like the 3 posts that are about it. The bingo board, the giveaway prize at the end, and the sign-up sheet. So I have a Google Doc that just has everyone that's signed up. You can put in, so I had Kelly, a new person, ask about how to join or like participate. There's no like official participation, but if you want to participate but not buddy read, you can still put your book and your channel in there, because that will tell me that you're participating, and so that will show other people that you're participating and they want to go check out your channels and see how you liked that book, because it'll all be thematically linked. So that's my answer. At this point, 3 days before March, we probably won't get other people buddy reading, just because it'll be harder to get books in on time unless you already have them. And you don't want to disappoint someone else who you're reading a book with. So, but you're very welcome to just put up something you've had gathering dust on your shelf that you're like, yes, this is the reason. This is my reason. I'm going to read it this month, and then unhaul it. So you have room for more books. What could be better? Yeah, so that's for that. But I realize people have mysteries, they have mammoths, they have middle grades, they have, what was the other one I saw? Maybe that's it. There are a lot of M's. I don't know why. I should have waited till May for this to make it not onomatopoeic, alliterative, but I did not. So I just got to mix it in with everyone else. So that is the March. I've got another historical fiction author coming on March 7th. Oh, shoot, I forgot. I think Camille is coming on the 7th, and we'll be talking about some of the themes that come up in her books and how they relate to movements in the period, which should be really fun. Then we've got the book chat with Mary, the bookseller, talking about how we judge people by their reading taste and how that shouldn't be so sometimes. So that's going to be a fun discussion on March 14th. So it's Sunday. And then 31st is when I have that historian, Donna Sinclair, coming on to talk about Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston, and also sort of movements in the period, especially race and gender changes, because this is like the social upset and things that we can hear echoes of today. So hey, it might be a good idea to learn our history, because it behooves us to learn the history, because it'll make us understand what's happening today better, I think. I just wanted to use the word behoove. JD's saying he's gonna check it out. Sweet. And Christina saying she's so excited. Yay! Yes, I saw your name, and you and Katya are the only one who have put your availability up there. So hopefully we'll get the other 3 going as well. And then I will have my calendar of all the lives that we'll be doing in March. And it'll be like full on. It'll be awesome. Ah, behoove. Ah, that's a good joke. I just gotta put that up. That's respect. That's respect right there. Were you here for my ships passing joke? Because that was epic. That was epic. Ask Marilyn about it. It was good. But I feel like I can't get any better than that, so I had better sign off a few minutes to the hour. And thank you all for joining. I wanted to start the buddy read. Yeah. I will be talking to all the March of the Moderns people soon. That's on my list. I really wanted to catch up the February stuff before I start on that. But yeah, do it all. Do that as well. Thank you very much. Roll on this episode. What? Okay. That we're good. We're done. Take the lady off the stage. We'll see you guys in the next video, and see you in March for the Moderns, and I'll love seeing your next videos for how your Februarys went. Have a lovely evening or sleep through the night if you're further east, and see you later.